Great. Thanks for joining us, David. Please, if you can, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is David Holst. I am the Outagamie County Veteran Service Officer. And my time in service is kind of dual part, some active duty and then some in the Army National Guard. I actually started out active duty Marine Corps, and I served with HMX-1, which is the Presidential Helicopter Squadron. And we traveled around the world with the president. I was serving during Ronald Reagan and George Bush, and then Bush Quayle presidencies. And then after I got done with that, then I came back to Wisconsin, and I joined the 1st Battalion, 147th Aviation out of Madison. And I went from flying the president around to flying the governor around. And then we ended up a couple of activations. I'm actually an Iraqi war veteran, and we were actually sent over to Iraq during 2003 to do our business. So I have the luxury of active duty and then serving in the Army National Guard too. And I retired from the Army National Guard. So I'm kind of like in that gray area where I don't collect anything until age 60. So I have experience that way. So I think God kind of fine-tuned my career a little bit so I can understand more people, both on active duty and the National Guard. And I understand the 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks in the summer type scenario, which is evolved far more than what it was when I first started. So
cool. That's a really interesting background. It'd be really interesting flying the president or being with the president and the governor. Sure.
Yeah, how many people can say they were actually Ronnie's roadies?
Yeah, right. No, that's really cool. That's really unique. Well, David, if you can, tell me a little bit more about the county you serve in.
Well, I'm currently the County Veteran Service Officer for Outagamie County. So right now, I was just checking some numbers this morning to get an update on the veteran population here. And it's decreased a little bit. We currently have approximately 10,500 veterans currently in Outagamie County. And there's a wide variety of veterans that we serve here, all from like World War II, all the way to veterans just getting off of active duty and anywhere in between. So we see a pretty good mix of veterans here. And it doesn't matter. We serve all the veterans, any branch, any service, anytime, anywhere. There's benefits, and it's my job to inform the veteran and their families about those benefits. I guess the question is, how do you know what to apply for if you don't even know the benefit exists? So I'm like, okay, well, that's a job, and we need to educate the veterans and their families on these benefits, and that's going to be important.
Yeah, absolutely. And that leads into my next question is, well, what services as a CVSO do you all provide for veterans?
Wow, that's a loaded question. I can sum it up as this. The Outagamie County Veterans Service Office is a one-stop shop for anything veteran related. If you got problems, come on in here, let's talk about them, and then let's find a solution for that problem. And let me give you a couple of examples here. A veteran came in here and he was in a wheelchair and he goes, David, do you know anybody who can help me with a roof repair? And I go, well, that's not exactly VA related. However, I do network with quite a few different groups. I network with about 70 different groups. And that wasn't one of the groups that I normally network with, but I'll call it God's intervention one more time, because shortly after that conversation, I did receive an email from a roofing company looking to repair veteran roofings. So I'm like, what are the odds of that? So I'm like, okay, so now I've got the two together, and the veteran just called me, and we're gonna have somebody from this roofing company come on out and estimate what needs to be done. And the place that's doing the work actually had a commitment for labor and shingles, so it sounds positive already.
Wow.
But we do way more than just compensation and pension here. I mean, homeless veterans, clothing, housing, emergency for gas, food cards. Man, come on in here. If you got problems, I want to know about them.
Well, that's really good to know, and it's really good for the veterans. And you already covered this a little bit, but you're talking about that you work with or you network with over 70 different organizations. What are some of the different organizations you do work with in your county?
Well, right now we're pretty fortunate enough to work with a group called the Fox Valley Veterans Council. And that's a group of people that get together and they raise funds to help veterans with emergency purposes. So if I got a veteran that comes in here and they're looking for housing because they're homeless, we can ask Fox Valley Veterans Council to help us. And they could possibly come up with like the first month's rent and security deposit, depending, or maybe your car broke down and you need some help fixing that. They can help with that. Or maybe utility bill, maybe you're behind on the rent, maybe you're behind on the electric bill or the phone bill. There are resources out there. So just come on in here. And Fox Valley Veterans Council is one of the groups that I do work with. And then besides that, there's actually a group out there called the Veterans Roundtable, where there's anybody that's got anything with a veteran focus will come to this meeting. And this is where I really tap into the community resources. Maybe somebody's got financial assistance they can help with. Right now, I'm trying to network with a law firm to provide legal services for like wills and other things like that that might be value added to the veteran community. So I'm also looking for chiropractors with an IME rating, mental health doctors such as a psychiatrist or a psychologist to help us with the VA claims and render those medical opinions. I mean, it's an endless network of veteran focus that we have going on in this office.
Yeah, it definitely sounds that way. It sounds like you got a good handle on and have some great resources out there.
Yeah, I'll never want for work here.
That's perfect. What are some different ways you guys try reaching out to veterans in your community?
Well, there's several ways we can try to reach out into the community, but we're kind of limited because we're kind of short staffed, but we just hired a couple new people, so it's training them up. But right now we're using like a Facebook page, email, word of mouth has really been good because people got the outstanding customer service and they're like, oh, could you help my dad? Or could you help my friend out? And then the phone is just constantly ringing off the hook. So phone is good, email's good, social media through Facebook is good. Or to the county website here, we actually have a county website for our office. So
Awesome. Well, that's great. What are some challenges you guys might face when it comes to helping veterans in your community?
well, right now, the biggest crunch on the board right now is actually affordable housing. So I meet with a group called the Fox Cities Housing Coalition, and we work to find affordable housing for veterans. And right now, there's just a severe shortage of affordable housing. So I also network with the Veterans Village here in Appleton. It's probably not very well known, but it is currently in the process of getting switched over from Outagamie County Housing Authority to Veterans Village. And Veterans Village is actually a place for nothing but veterans, whether they're homeless or maybe they're looking for an apartment. And it's actually going to transition as the program grows to add on like an assisted living, a nursing home, and then end of life care with hospice. So right now they're actually fundraising over at the Veterans Village towards that goal. So other challenges are misinformation that the veterans get when they're getting out of the service. A lot of the older veterans, oh, nobody ever said nothing to me about that, or they went to a VA facility and somebody told them there that they don't qualify for any benefits. So then there's also the not enough VA advertising. When's the last time anybody actually saw a VA advertisement about benefits?
Yeah.
Okay, so besides misinformation, there's no information or people being told the wrong stuff. A wrong one would probably be, oh, my friend qualifies for this benefit, I should get that too. Well, that's not necessarily the case. your benefits are based on your service and nobody else's.
Mhm.
And you're as unique as a snowflake. So you could have identical twins go into the service and serve in the same unit at the same time, doing the same job, and still come out with different benefits. Maybe one got injured, maybe one didn't. Maybe somebody was exposed to some chemical environment and maybe the other one wasn't. But your benefits are based on your service and nobody else's. So that's how the benefits are determined. We look at the DD 214. Where did you go? Well, what did you do? And then let's figure out the benefits. So it's very complex, and we actually develop claims here quite a bit. It's not shuffling paper and then sending it into the VA and see what sticks. It's getting to know the veteran, interviewing them, and then having that discussion with them. I've seen so many times where people just came in here for like a veteran ID on the driver's license. And the next thing you know, they're walking out less than a year later with a 50% service-connected disability rating and a huge retro check. So, I mean, and some veterans that never even filed a claim before, and the only time we're seeing them is their death certificate. And then we're noticing, oh, wow, hey, look, they served during Vietnam era and they had boots on the ground. And then we talk to the spouse, oh, he never said anything about it, or he never filed a claim. And then we're able to prove service-connected death and then get that surviving spouse some benefits. So it's more than just shuffling paper. It's doing the right thing and going that extra mile to make sure that the veterans get all the benefits that they're entitled to, not just some. I don't know any veteran who ever came in here looking for minimum benefits either, just so you know that.
Yeah.
We're going max the entire way, just so you know that.
Well, that's great, and it's so powerful. Always going that extra mile and really getting to know the veteran, and just not, another number or another piece of paperwork. Really getting to know who they are, and that's really powerful. That's great work. One of my last questions I got for you is, if a veteran doesn't have a copy of your DD 214, can they come to you to help get a copy of that?
Absolutely. Once again, a one-stop shop. So if I don't have it locally, can I find it on the state site? And if not there, then maybe we could go to national. Do you have it recorded somewhere else? Let's go get that DD 214 because that's the keys to the kingdom, okay? So if you want your benefits, you're gonna need that ticket. Help me help you. Come on in here with that and let's get started. And all the services here are free. So why wouldn't you come in?
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that's really great. Well, David, the last question I got for you today is, what's the best way for a veteran to get a hold of you in your office?
Well, it depends on how they prefer to communicate. So maybe it's an email, maybe it's telephone, maybe it's over Facebook or an internet connection. However they want to contact us, hey, Google Outagamie County Veteran Service Office. Come on in person. The office is open. You can talk to people face to face. If you feel uncomfortable, maybe talk on the phone. You choose how you want to contact us. But the big thing is contact us, and let's do more than just talk about it. Let's do something about it.
Perfect. What is a good contact phone number?
Well, I'll give you the main line, 920-832-5697. That's the main line. Now, if you want to call me direct, that's fine, because I don't hide from people. I seek them out. So if you want the Outagamie County Veteran Service Officer, and my direct line is 920-832-5035. Now you can send me an email, you can call me on the phone, you can come on in person. But the thing is you don't have to see me only to get the same level of customer service. I train the whole staff here to know what I know. There are no secretaries here. Everybody's fully accredited. And if they're not, they're working towards that. So the level of customer service is going to be there for you.
Oh, great. Well, David, thank you so much for being here today. You gave some really good information, and we appreciate so much everything you do for veterans and taking a few minutes out of your day to be with us today.
Yep, the best is yet to come. Because when people come to see us, they'll understand why we're striving to be the best in the state, bar none.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got any other questions or anything you want to talk about?
That's all I have. Is there anything else you'd like to bring up, or anything else you believe that a veteran who's looking for help should know?
Well, if you're coming off of active duty, my suggestion would be this. Make sure you have a copy of all your official military personnel file records and all your military medical records. Because once you get off of active duty, now you fall into my arena. And when we file these VA claims, that's what they're going to need. And some veterans can't find the records because they didn't copy them on the way out, and then they were supposed to get sent over to the repository, but they never made it over there. So do yourself a favor, and on your exit exam, complain about everything, even if your feelings got hurt, all right? Because that's going to help you when you get out off of active duty, but make sure you get all your records. And then come talk to your county veteran service officer wherever you're at. Now, I realize that 35 states have county veteran service officers and 15 do not. So there's actually federal legislation pending right now to add more county veteran service officers in the United States, but the Congress is going to award that money to the VA, and the VA is going to determine where that needs to be opened up for a new office. So just so you know, that's coming.
Okay, well, that's great to know. Perfect. Yeah, and it's so true with, the more paperwork you have, and I've noticed even when I filed filed for disability and stuff, is the more paperwork you have, it's just the better, and try to have everything documented.
Right, paper trail, paper trail, paper trail.
Yep.
Lines of duty are very important, especially if you got injured. National Guard folks, the same way. If you're there on a guard drill weekend and you get hurt, hey, do that line of duty, get that done, because that's evidence that you got injured while in drill status. Very important.
Perfect. Well, once again, I just want to say thank you, and we appreciate everything and all the great information you gave us today. Thank you so much.
Hey, we're waiting to serve. I'm working for them. They're my boss.
Perfect. I like that.